Hello. I wonder if this works. Yes, that's what
Oh, hello?
Oh, okay. Yeah, you could hear me. I would just make sure the audio worked.
Yeah, mine, what, can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Mute.
Here we go.
Hey, Whitney.
Hey, Bob.
Hey, did you hear from I Am Unique?
Yes, she'll be on.
She just texted me that she had something come up. So you might want to verify or see if you got somebody else that might speak.
Okay.
Oh, Whitney? Whitney?
Yes, go ahead.
I'm wrong. It was one of the other people who came.
Okay. Okay, I was like, I just talked to her. Okay, no
Oh,
worries.
my mistake. Thank you.
No problem. Thanks.
D'Angelo
Yes, indeed.
and McNeil.
How you doing? I will put this in the group that you requested.
I'm sorry, you're gonna put what in the group?
Bob told me yesterday that you wanted it to go live in one of your Facebook group.
Right, the stock market game group.
Yep. I'm gonna put it in there right now.
But how can you put it in there?
Because I joined it yesterday.
And do you want to give him a call? Because I think
I've been calling him. I'm waiting for him to answer the phone.
Oh, okay.
That's me calling you from that number, that 786 number.
Oh, okay. Let me go get my work phone. I do not have it right next to me. Give me 1 second.
No problem, sir. Thanks.
And I love your background.
Thank you, Bob.
I will when it gets started.
Hello, Ann. I don't think you heard me.
Oh, no, I didn't hear you. Hi, how are you?
I think the reason you didn't hear me is because I was on mute. So that's probably.
Oh,
why.
yes, I'm mute. Okay, let me go on mute for 1 second. Hold on.
You got to turn on. You got to turn it on, Ann.
Mark, I think Ann is trying to talk to Tiangelo.
Oh, I see. I got it. I got it.
Mark, what's happening is through the McNeils, we did create a private Facebook stock market game summer pilot group. It's not many people in the group, but there is shareability from the presentation here onto the Facebook page.
Oh,
And,
okay.
and Ann knows how to do all this, so she's working with Tiangelo on the spot.
Wow. Okay.
I say wow too.
Yeah, I don't know how to do that.
Yeah. Okay, it's 5:31.
Hey Bob, this is Shannon. We are doing Facebook Live on this, correct?
Yes, just a small Facebook group that we have, and I think that's what they're trying to
Got it.
connect this presentation to, because some of the Florida people have been using the Facebook page, and it's easier sometimes just to connect with these presentations from Facebook than it is to get on Zoom if you don't have, if you're not totally situated for it.
Absolutely. Okay.
I was awaiting Tiangelo to give me the word to start.
Go ahead, Bob. We are good to go. We are recording. We are live. Everything, we did everything we wanted to do. I believe we're good to go now.
Very good. I appreciate Tiangelo being on deck to help us out with our presentation today. As he mentioned, we are recording this and it will be on a private Facebook page, the Stock Market Game Summer Pilot Facebook page. So please be aware of that. If advisors think that a young person should not present because of that, feel free to exercise your discretion. My name is Bob Wynn, and I want to say hello to one and all. Welcome to the culmination of our amazing summer as we celebrate the closing of our 10-week Stock Market Game Summer Pilot. 2020 has been a challenging year, but when it comes to educating and developing our youth, we are adjusting and flexing. In other words, we're keeping it moving forward. Today, we've planned a brief but interesting program that will highlight and recognize participants in our stock market game. We'll give you a quick overview of what the game entailed, an early assessment of results, and then we'll have some discussion about what's next. Okay, you can advance that. And we've just indicated the order that we will provide for our program today. And let's go on to the next slide. And this is where I get to thank and acknowledge the important people and organizations that have helped to make this a special educational experience for our students in Milwaukee and in Florida. I represent Asset Builders of America, which is a 20-year-old Wisconsin-based nonprofit, and we're focused on financial education for youth and families. Last year, Asset Builders worked with United Way of Greater Milwaukee and Waukesha County to launch a multi-agency collective impact initiative to provide more robust and sustainable financial education for communities and youth of color. And this stock market game was the first project to emerge from our citywide collaboration. The real work of the stock market game pilot was done by Economics Wisconsin, and you'll hear from them shortly. But before you do, let me introduce three important collaborators who were key supporters and connectors for this effort. I'm going to read all three of their names and titles and just ask that they introduce themselves and welcome the group in the order that I read the names. Shannon Reed, Director of Innovative Strategies for Boys and Men of Color at United Way of Milwaukee and Waukesha County. Tiangelo Cargile Jr., Youth and Violence Prevention Coordinator, City of Milwaukee, Office of Violence Prevention. And thirdly, Daryl Davidson, Community Engagement Director, City of Milwaukee. Shannon, let's hear from you.
So Bob, thank you once again for this work. I think it's so important, as we think about how we came to this process. First of all, Shannon Reed with United Way, and I just remember that conversation that Bob and I first had when we were sitting down and coming into the office. This is pre-COVID, and our conversations was specifically about how can we help our youth of color in our community. One of the things around my work is I'm specifically trying to figure out how do we build opportunity, access, and resources for Black and brown boys in our community. And this specifically was the thing for us to get to where we are. And so I'm excited for all of you to be here. I'm also excited for the youth who are a part of this, because this work does not mean anything if we don't do this for our youth. And so to all of the ones who are here, thank you for supporting, thank you for being here. And United Way is so excited to be a part of the project.
Thank you. Tiangelo.
Good evening, everyone. I want to thank you all for being in this space. Again, I'm Tiangelo Cargile Jr. with the Milwaukee Health Department's Office of Violence Prevention. And salute to what Shannon said, salute to our partners. And I definitely want to say all of our partners' names that were with us in this project. We had Journey House, Neighborhood House, Milwaukee School of Excellence, Neu-Life, the Kellogg Peak Initiative, MKE Fellows, and Running Rebels. Without all of your support, this would not have happened. This is our pilot project with our community-based out-of-school time organizations, and you all stepped up to the plate to make sure this pilot worked and was successful. So thank you all again. Thank you all again for everything that you did to make sure this pilot worked.
Thank you, Daryl Davidson.
Good evening, everyone. Daryl Davidson, City of Milwaukee, and I would like to give a hearty congratulations to our collective impact partners and recognize them for their outstanding work and service and support to everything related to this project. It went swimmingly, and all of their contributions are going to be greatly remembered and appreciated. I certainly want to acknowledge all of the teams that participated with the stock market game and learned about financial planning and investment, as well as some of the things that are going to help them with the routine of being a successful person. I also want to make sure that we let the advisors know that they're doing great work. We do want them to be a part of this in the future, just as well as we want the youth who participated to be a part of this in the future. We have talked to many organizations who believe in what we're doing, and they want to know after this game how they can help, how they can support, and how we can expand. And so we want to see those youth. No matter how many times we see you, you're part of this family now. So we look forward to participating with you on many different levels, finding out how successful you are with the information that you've learned with this pilot. And no matter if you look the way you do years from now, or if your hair is gray, you are always welcome to be a part of this space. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Daryl. Yes, indeed, we do have the gray circle, so you can be in this movement for a lifetime. And I might add that United Way, as well as the City of Milwaukee, along with asset builders, provided the funding for the gift certificates that the Milwaukee groups will be receiving as we announce the winners today. So thank you to all of our donors for their financial support. But putting in the sweat equity was Economics Wisconsin, who served as the anchor for the collaboration of this project. They have been coordinating the stock market game through the schools across the state of Wisconsin for years. So we can't thank them enough for their joyful willingness to take on the extra effort to bring the stock market game directly to the youth of color through community-based organizations during the summer. Please welcome and let us thank Bob Glowacki of Economics Wisconsin.
Hello, everyone. Glad you all could be here, and I'm going to save my remarks for a little bit later on, but we're glad to have you here, glad to have you here all summer, and I want to thank all the volunteers who made this possible and our partners. It's been a fun thing this summer.
What an understated statement from Bob Glowacki. He has really been the reason that we were able to do this summer. So if you know how to send out a reaction, send him some applause and some thumbs up. We appreciate you, Bob Glowacki. Talk about unexpected outcomes. We started our Milwaukee pilot without any intent of instantly growing it into a multi-state pilot. However, there was a nucleus of fervent investment educators in West Palm Beach, Florida. They asked to join the pilot. And truth be told, they didn't ask. They demanded to participate because they wouldn't take no for an answer. And we're glad that they insisted to be involved. Next, please say hello to my good friend and longtime collaborator, I could say co-conspirator, Ms. Ann McNeil, owner of MCO Construction.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. And on behalf of all of the volunteers, the youth, and the advisors from Florida, we want to thank you, Bob, and the City of Milwaukee, United Way, Economics Wisconsin, Asset Builders, and Bob Glowacki, everybody that participated in this process. We're just so honored to be involved. We also want to give a shout out to Better Investing, which is an organization that many of us are volunteers with, and we want to thank them for gifting us with the 90-day free membership for the advisors. And so Ione McNeil is a part of our team. She's going to be talking later on, but on behalf of all of us from the state of Florida, we want to thank you for allowing us to participate, and we're looking forward to doing the same next year. We want to thank the kids too, because they have really shown us what's possible. So thank you, Bob.
Thank you very much, Ann McNeil, and you'll hear from Ione. We can advance to the next slide. Is just a holder for us to talk a little bit about the stock market game. We have a number of guests that are on with us today. And for those of you in the meeting who do not know, the stock market game is a simulated investment education platform that allows the students to learn by doing. Teams of 5 students register onto a stock trading platform that mimics the real-time trading. Each team is allocated a fictitious, mind you, fictitious $100,000, and the object of the competition is for the teams to study, to make decisions together, and to use that $100,000 to buy and sell stocks with the goal of building the value in their portfolio through their trading over the course of a semester or a school year, and in our case, over the 10 weeks of our summer program. The students received guidance from adult advisors from the participating organizations and advisors, and in turn, they received coaching and support from industry experts. Many of our financial services experts were volunteers from one of our other partners, Secure Futures. On one of the other unexpected outcomes was the continuous support and expertise of Dr. Mark Shug. He's a renowned professor, author, and curriculum expert. He developed a summer-friendly curriculum, mostly comprised of short educational videos coming from the St. Louis Federal Reserve. The videos provided a weekly supplement of extra learning for the youth, and we added that by hosting these weekly office hours, we could embellish the learning with even more education. We had presentations regarding Yahoo Finance, compounding, and one of my favorites was careers and salaries in high finance. We want to thank all of our advisors, our financial services experts, and our office hours presenters for enhancing and enriching our students' summer pilot experience. We'll go on to the next. And speaking of enrichment, I want our Florida coordinator extraordinaire, Ione McNeil, affectionately known as the Baby Billionaire, to say a few words on behalf of the Florida contingent. Ione.
Hi, Bob. Thank you so much for having us. I'm going to keep my remarks short. Like you said, we definitely bogarted our way into this program. When Bob called me and said, "Hey, we're going to be doing this for the youth of color in Milwaukee. Can you come on and say a few words?" I was like, "No, I'm coming with the whole army of youth of color from South Florida. If we can, let's make this work." And I'm just very grateful to Bob and for Economics Wisconsin for making this opportunity available to us. As you will see in the teams and the portfolios, we had just as many students and adult advisors impacted positively from this experience. So thank you for the opportunity. Is this now where I introduce the student and the advisor?
Yes, if you have a student and advisor that wants to speak.
Okay, so I would like to introduce Isaac Roach and his daughter. Oh gosh, I don't know why her name just slipped my mind, but Isaac Roach and his daughter, they're going to speak very briefly about their experience from the stock market game. They both actually were in separate teams. So I'll hand it over now to Isaac.
Hey everybody, this is Isaac Roach, and I just wanted to say that this was a great experience for myself being an advisor for the South Florida group. And I really would like to just, just encourage everyone that may be thinking about, I guess, serving in the capacity of an advisor or a mentor. It was such a great experience. I think that, a lot of the things that I was able to pick up, even though I knew a lot of the content, being that I'm in the financial industries, one of the things that I really did pick up and I really liked was the overall way that that the program was ran. It was ran very efficiently. I think that the content was very, very strong. And a lot of the people that were on the team really enjoyed what we were able to share with them about investing, which is kind of a new thing for the level. But it was some really heavy, high level information and what have you. So, again, and I'm going to hand it over to my daughter, Tori, and she's going to say a few words. But thank you guys for, allowing me to be a part. And thank you. You guys have a great situation going on. I'd be more than happy to participate and encourage others. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Tori, and I just wanted to say a few words about the stock market game. So I had a great experience at the stock market game, and I learned more about stocks and bonds and trading, and overall it was a fantastic experience, and I definitely want to do it again. And like, more than just being inside of my team, we learned, but then also like the networking, I also got to speak with Miss Ione individually, and she helped me better understand like what a mutual fund was. So she used a great analogy. So she said that a mutual fund is like trail mix. So we all know trail mix as a variety of different snacks all packed into one. So that's exactly how a mutual fund is, because it's a variety of companies. And being a part of the stock market game, I learned about diversification. So when you buy a mutual fund, it's really helpful because the diversification is already in there, because you have a variety of different companies. And then you can even look at those stocks and then see what stocks are doing the best. And then you can invest more of your money into those stocks so that you can get higher dividends. So that's why I really like the stock market game. And I want to come back and do it again so I can learn more. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Corey and Isaac Roach. We very much appreciate your participation, and you really embellished the entire program by joining us from Florida. We really appreciate your interest in doing this again, and we also hope that we'll build on the knowledge that you already obviously have, using those important words like dividends. Dividends and gray hair go together. I'll just leave it at that and let your advisors talk to you guys about that one day. But before we move, we're going to move on next. But I want to be sure to point out as we go to the next slide that we need to thank Julie Glauner from Economics Wisconsin, as well as the Securities Industry and Financial Markets Association. They're the ones that helped to create the platform on which the stock market game has been run. Julie works with Bob Glowacki at Economics Wisconsin, and she has been a jewel. She could actually just shorten her name from Julie to Jewel. We appreciate you, Julie. We thank you. And now for the moment you've all been waiting for, enough about me and from me, and let's turn it over to the stars of the day, and that is our stock market game teams and their advisors. Take it away, Economics Wisconsin.
Well, hello, everyone. Again, I am really pleased to be able to do the countdown here. It's my honor. We've been doing this game since literally I was your age. If you're a teenager, it started back in 1989 in that area. And I'm proud that some of our board members are on, as well as the president of SIFMA Foundation, who also helped us to think about what this game could be like and where it could go. So, because we do have some big dreams for the future. So we thank them for their support during this time. The stock market game is not just about learning how to invest. It's also about working together, learning from each other, and growing capacity, growing the idea of saving for your future, saving for the financial security for yourself and your family. And in this time where there is so much insecurity and so many unknowns, this was a great opportunity brought to me by Bob Wynn to be able to do something positive going forward. Bob called me in the midst of COVID while I was locked down in my home. And for once, COVID did something good. This was an opportunity where I don't know if all of us would have had the time to put into this project if we weren't working from home and all of our other engagements kind of got canceled. So it's been great working with the team. And I'll remind people, the stock market game is a national game. is run many times by the Council for Economic Education in your state. So if you're interested, go to the website, check it out. Bother your school principal or others to make it part of the curriculum, because it is about your loved one's future. It's about their financial security. It's about them buying into the American dream. So it was my honor to be part of it, and my honor to work with Bob Wynn. I want to thank him for his passion, what he brings to the table. And my Lord, does he know great people. So many great people on this call are related to Bob. The people from the office hours just blew me away and made me feel as if I need to go back to school and get smarter, because they are amazing people and had amazing careers, from deans of law schools to successful financial people in San Francisco, to all kinds of things. And I was just very amazed by what they brought to the table. And I thank them for not only sharing their knowledge, but obviously sharing their success story. And I hope many of the young people like I were pretty impressed and hope to grow up to be just like them. So now the moment you've really been waiting for. So I'm going to announce the teams in order, first with honorable mentions. And then I'm going to call on the advisor at the end. I won't read all the team names, but I will call on the advisor to start out with their thoughts on how this went, and then they should have a student ready to go. Remember to unmute yourself, otherwise we can't hear you. And the other exciting part is I talk about what people will receive. Look for in your email by Thursday, you should receive an Amazon e-card, gift card for your participation in this event, if you're in the Milwaukee area. So congratulations, and this is our thank you to giving it all the effort that you've given this. So those with honorable mention will receive a $25 gift card. And so we'll advance it and say the first group we're going to talk to is Journey House for honorable mention. And their advisor was Quentin Prince. Quentin, let's hear from you. Is Quentin on the call?
I don't see Quentin. Is there, if he is not on, we will go on and be sure he gets his rewards. Journey, Neighborhood House may not be on either. Got a note from them, but go ahead and try it.
Okay, with Journey House, was there any student who wanted to speak from there? From Journey House, from Jackie, Leo, Miguel, Sophia, Salomar, is anybody on who'd like to talk? Going once, going twice? So, okay. Neighborhood House, is there someone on from Neighborhood House? We thank Cynthia for her work with the team. Okay, we'll go on then to honorable mention to Milwaukee Fellows is our next honorable mention. Michael Heiler led that group, and I am sure I can see his name in front of me. So Michael, tell us about your experience.
I had a great experience with the game. As I spoke with Mr. Wynn about, I knew nothing about trading or investing. I never really had too much money to play with. I only had like a little bit of emergency money and bill money, but I never had money to play with. So I got into this game 2 weeks in because we had to switch up our advisors. And I started doing a lot of homework, like listening to the orientations and just all the meetings. And it was very interesting. And it was so interesting that I actually started investing, within this game. But just, researching the products, seeing what's hot, what's not, how different products affect the market, what's going on in the world, how things affect that, what you want to invest in. And just meeting with the guys and just trying to balance out the aggressive investors with the passive aggressive investors, and just seeing how the guys think and bouncing ideas off of each other. It was a great experience for me and my guys. Definitely think it's a great tool going forward, just to keep African American males or just anybody in general that's young on the right side of that.
Great. Do you have someone for your team who wanted to say something?
Yes, I have Mr. Noah Cotton. He was our president. And Mr. Cotton, you can go ahead and take it away, sir.
Hello, everybody. So first off, I just want to thank everybody for giving us the opportunity to participate. This is just something that I feel strongly about, is giving us youth an outlet to get involved with. So just a little about myself before I speak about the game is that I'm going to be a rising freshman at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. It's just so fitting that my major will be finance. So I'm double majoring in international business and finance. And so when the Milwaukee Fellows reached out to me and asked me, did I want to be a part of the game, this was a no-brainer. And I automatically said yes. And so some things that, I'll talk about our strategy. Everybody else talked about, what they liked with the game. So a little strategy that we had going into the game is, we kind of looked at, as a collective group, we looked at what was going on in the United States, and we wanted to invest around that. And so I'll say our best investment of the stock market game was investing in Moderna, which is one of the companies that's working on the vaccine for the coronavirus. And they're currently in phase 3, which is, the most in-depth in the United States. And so we end up getting into Moderna when their stock was $56. And if I remember correctly, I think we bought about 200 shares of that. And then it went on to be, it went from $56 when we bought it, and the highest it got was $91. And so that kind of was a motivator for us because we looked at, we knew our strategy was working, and it kind of built up a little confidence for us. And so, that's something that I liked about the game is that, it taught us how to be collaborative as a team. It brought us all together. I'll say one thing that we all, were able to learn was like that was said earlier, is we learned about the mutual funds and how those all come together. It's a bunch of companies that have different investments, and you can come and purchase that mutual fund. Something that we learned was we learned how to look at the mutual funds and look at what was trending. We looked at the long run. We looked at what was, the 52-week high, what was the 52-week low, and that kind of just, that led us to be able to make a profit in the end. And so, we were all glad about that. And so we just, once again, speaking from everybody from my team, we just want to say thank you for the opportunity once again, and we really appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you, Noah, and good luck in Madison. So it sounds like you're well on your way. So, and let's all hope for Moderna also, not just their stock, but their vaccine. So let's hope that comes through. Now we move on to the next honorable mention, and that is a group that's been at the table pretty much since Bob put this stuff together, and that is Runnin' Rebels. And we're glad they've been a partner with ours in a larger collaborative, and Whitney Bingham represents that organization. Whitney.
Oh. Hi, this is Whitney Bingham from Running Rebels. We're a youth organization. I really loved how the whole curriculum of the game was put together. It was really nice to follow along. I'm kind of newer to investing in stocks and learning about it. So the curriculum was great to follow along, watching videos and asking the questions. I learned a lot from the young people that I worked with, and going through the whole 10 weeks. So I am going to introduce one of our young ladies. I am Unique Triplet, who's going to talk a little bit about her experience in the game, what she liked, what she learned, and our strategy, and a little bit what they thought could be improved by it. So I am Unique.
Hi, my name is Unique Triplet. I am a junior at Rufus King High School, and in terms of how I like the stock market game, I really, really enjoyed it. And if it were to happen again, I definitely would participate. I feel like it definitely put stocks into a perspective that us youth can understand. It wasn't, too complex to learn and understand. It wasn't necessarily dumbed down, but it was simplified in a way that we could, understand it and apply it to purchasing the stocks that we purchased. I definitely think that the videos were helpful, not only because it taught us content related to finance and stocks, but because it also allowed us to interact with the content. At the end of the videos, we will answer questions, and I'd like to think of that as kind of actively studying what you learn. Not only are you watching something and just, taking in the information and it leaves your mind, you actively, study the content. I learned about the process that people may use to make smart decisions about which stock to purchase as well. And the stock market game, based off of the videos as well, encouraged me and my teammates to save up while we're young so that we don't have to rush to save up when we're older and approaching retirement. In terms of the strategies that we use, we looked at a few main elements of the stocks via Yahoo Finance. We first looked at the current price, the closing price. We looked at the beta, which is the volatility or risk. If it's under 1, it's less volatile, and if it's above 1, it's more volatile. So we took a look at that. We looked at the dividends that the company offers, which is just what the company pays back, like in a percentage. We also looked at the 52-week range to see what was the highest during those 52 weeks and what was the lowest during the 52 weeks, as well as the analyst recommendations. So in terms of like the month that we were on, we viewed what analysts thought we should do: hold, sell, and buy. It didn't necessarily dictate our entire decision, but it did influence it a little, just based off of, you know, what other people were saying, so that it's not just us saying, you know, we should do this, we should do that. To improve the experience, all I would say is to, you know, start it earlier and make it a little bit longer, just so that we can learn more. And yeah, that's about it for me.
Wow, thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. So now we're moving up to third place. In third place, these young people receive a $50 Amazon gift certificate. And in third place is our friends from Neu-Life Community Development. Congratulations. We have 3 advisors: Autumn, Jaquan, and Britta. And I believe Autumn is going to speak. Autumn? Or I could be wrong.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Hello, guys. So yes, I'm one of the advisors here with Neu-Life. So this was just an amazing experience. I got to say, first of all, you guys have taught me a lot. Not only have you guys taught me a lot, but also the kids. When we came into this, we knew absolutely nothing. Like, we heard of the terms like stock market and bonds and funds and mutual funds and things. But as far as like knowing what they really mean, we were all clueless. So like this whole 10-week course that we did, we learned a lot. There was times where I got to see my kids shine, where they actually taught us some things, which was really cool. And just seeing them engage in something that they were thrown into last minute was really cool. So overall, it was a wonderful experience. Before I pass it on to our student, Fanaja Lee, I just want to say again, thank you for giving Neu-Life the opportunity, and I hope we can do this again in the future. So thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Fanaja Lee. I am here on behalf of Neu-Life's SMG Dream Team to tell you about our roles each of us had in our experience with the game. Throughout the game, we all have roles. Elton had the director role. He was responsible for coordinating the efforts of the entire team, ensuring that activities are being completed successfully and that everyone on the team is being treated fairly. Destiny was the head researcher. Even though the whole team is responsible for researching and sharing, Destiny is responsible for coordinating the team's findings and summarizing them into a cohesive presentation that can easily be shared. Keith was the portfolio coordinator. He was responsible for monitoring the team's portfolio transactions, recording transactions the team makes, and ensuring the portfolio data is displayed correctly. Elijah was the data entry coordinator. He was responsible for monitoring the team portfolio. Elijah was the data entry coordinator. His role was to ensure that our trades are entered and executed correctly. Last but not least, I was the lead reporter. My role was to keep track of the team's meeting, to maintain a current journal of the team's activities and the status of their portfolio. The top three companies that the Dream Team had was Amazon, Tesla, and Apple. Those were our top earnings over the course of the stock market game. Our investment strategy was choosing the stocks with a high dividend. If we had to give ourselves a grade, we would choose a B. We did pretty good working as a team and making decisions as a group, but sometimes things don't work out the way we think, and that's okay. When we started this game, we didn't know what we're getting ourselves into. It was hard for us to understand the game in the beginning because it felt like there was so much information given to us at once. It would have helped to break it down to us little by little. Once we got over that little hurdle, it started to become easier for us and got in the swing of things. Overall, we had an amazing learning experience. We really appreciate the opportunity to participate in a wonderful curriculum.
Well, thank you. Great job, guys. Great job. Moving into second place. Now, our second place winner is Kellogg Peak Initiative, and their advisor was Daniel Gould. Daniel?
Careful, Jordan.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, perfect. Hi, I'm Dan Gould, and I had the honor and the privilege to be the advisor for Peak Initiative for Keandre and Shania. So a little bit of background, I work in finance. I'm a financial planner, and something I've been doing basically since I left college. And it's really unique because I'm kind of on the other side of the table where I kind of see all the hard work that people have done over their course of their entire lives to, earn that financial freedom and be able to retire on their own terms. And so I know, what the importance and how powerful it can be for folks to, have the knowledge and understand the accessibility and, what can happen by creating the good habits and investing in the stock market and things like that. So it was really cool and really awesome to work with Keandre and Shania, just to see them grow over the course of this entire game. Both of them kind of came in pretty green and be able to go through the different modules and things like that. They're some of the quickest, sharpest teenagers I've ever dealt with. And we actually started, about 3 weeks after all the rest of the teams had started. So I'm extremely proud of them for, kind of playing catch up and learning quickly. And, when they wanted to do things, buying stocks and investing in companies and doing the research and debating and buying with conviction. So I'm just extremely proud of them, that they've been able to, make up ground. And it's really been an honor to be able to, teach them throughout this. And I think they're both going to accomplish great things in the future. And so we have Keandre Thompson on here with us. He was kind of the president of our team, placed all the trades and kind of made everything happen. And I'll let him take it away.
Hi. Yeah, he summed it up for me, which is so sweet. I really do appreciate him teaching us and really mentoring, and it was an amazing experience for me. A couple weeks ago before the game started, my dad was telling me about like stocks and how important they are. And he wanted me to get into it. And the stock market game popped up after that. So I was really excited to participate, and I'm glad I did. It was just a fun experience. I was able to learn a lot. I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm just really excited, and it's just, yeah, we were able to like pick up on the importance of saving at a young age, but like not just sitting on the money that you're saving, because there's so much that you can do with the money that will give you so much more. And I really appreciate that we were able to learn that in such a short amount of time. Our strategy, I guess, was really looking at taking into account like what's happening now on top of what's already popular. So we would go for, we didn't go, I guess, the medical route that someone else said, but we went for like the necessities that people were going for. So like cleaning materials, um, uh, other household necessities and all that. And I really felt like that is what helped us, along with other, popular names like Apple, Tesla, etc. So, yeah, that's really all I have because everyone really summed up what I was going to say. So, yeah, thank you so much
Awesome.
for teaching us. And yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for your comments, Keandre. Now we will go for the first place team, and that belongs to the Milwaukee School of Excellence. We'll take home $200 each for their first place finish. I don't know if I mentioned $100 for the second place, but for first place, it's $200 for the teams. And again, we thank our sponsors for making that happen. And I will turn it over now to Rodney Link Jr., who was one of the advisors who led to the winning team. Congratulations, Rodney, and your team.
Good evening, everybody. First, I want to say congratulations to everybody else, too, all the other advisors through his last 10 weeks. It was a great experience. It's funny, I'm glad that Florida did bring their Army because they were in there competing. I saw them. I was like texting Ani and going back and forth, Milwaukee gonna hold it down, and then we did that. So we actually have Maurice Thomas, our CEO and founder. He's jumping on to celebrate with some of the kids as well from Milwaukee Excellence. So I thought it was a great experience. Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Economics Wisconsin. Thank you, Julie. Especially Julie, you were very responsive, and I had a great experience with this. I shout out to Noah. I just have to do it. You're gonna learn a lot. Go be a business badger. I'm excited for what you're doing. I'm sorry, that's not what I'm supposed to be saying, but I just got moved when he was talking about the things he's talking about and going to the B school there. So I will like to just say that this was an experience that a lot of people, they don't know a lot about the stock market, and I think financial literacy is very important. So I want to say thank you to Shannon Reed, Tiangelo, Daryl Davidson, and everybody else for putting this on. If I miss it, I think Bob. Hi, Bob. I don't know if you remember me, but my mom used to work for you when we were kids, when you was at Easter Seals. But thank you. Look, it's full circle right now. I want to thank you. And right now, I'm just going to give it away to William Bell. He is a rising ninth grader. He was one of our top eighth graders and was very boisterous in what we should purchase and how we should go about it. So I'll let him explain our strategy and things that he learned. So William, if you can let the world know who you are.
All right. Hi, I'm William Bell, and I was a part of the Milwaukee Excellence team. And I've learned a lot from the game, especially how to pick the right stock and to be able to read the chart that explains how the company is doing. Because at first, we was all looking at it real confused. And our strategy mainly focused on how a lot of people were when we focused on technology companies like Microsoft and Facebook that we knew were going to project or Amazon because the pandemic and people didn't want to come outside. And so we knew a lot of money would go into technology. My team and I never really been on the investing stock market. And so this was a real wide eye opener, should I say, because we learned that you can make a lot of money. A lot of investors are very successful and live comfortably, and that you don't need to be rich or you don't have to, or you can be average, should I say. And we'd just like to thank everybody for inviting us and bringing us to this game to really open our eyes. Some of us want to be stockbrokers and be very involved in the stock market because it's a real fun thing. We all enjoyed ourselves. So I'd like to say thank you to everyone for inviting us. Yeah.
Thank you, William. That was awesome. Thank you all for your comments. You just blew us away. You made all the work worthwhile by hearing what you all had to say. And before I give up the mic for the rest of the time, we need to acknowledge that Ione beat Bob when it came to investing. So the baby billionaire lives up to her name. So
Yeah.
there's a trophy that's got to pass, but we just need to say that Bob did lose. So I just want to throw that out there.
Thank you, Bob G. Thank you. This is a public record. This is being recorded.
This is recorded, so
yeah.
Yep, it's recorded. It's real. So
Yeah,
again,
I'm just playing around, and we don't go down the gauntlet this fall. Ione McNeil.
And I just want to say, because Bob, you said this, and this is something I told Tori last night. The portfolio that I put together was actually a buy and hold portfolio. I bought all my stocks in one day, and I just let it sit because I wanted the other teams to see what a long-term investing strategy would look like, because I know a lot of the other teams were doing trading, especially you were doing tradings and options and stuff like that. So I just wanted that portfolio to be a testament that you can actively trade or you could passively be investing, and more often than not, you will still make money. So for anybody in the stock market game that felt like it may have been too fast paced or whatever, want a slower way of doing it, just know that, it's okay to be Warren Buffett. You will still end up with a lot of money without having to be a trader. So thank you both, Bob and Bob.
Bob, I just want to say I wasn't invited to that one because I already know it'll cleaned up.
Well, right. Well,
I saw their names on there, but I didn't know we could do that. If you want to do advisor to advisor next time, let's do that.
Absolutely.
I know I would have to take second place to Rodney because
let me just say one thing in my defense. As Ione says, the best practice is to be a buy and hold. And all my life, for 3 decades of investing, that's all I've done is buy and hold. So Julie will attest that I went in there head first, and I started selling short, Beyond Meat, Roku, you name it, because I don't get a chance to do that in real life. I don't really sell short in real life. So I didn't even know I was competing. I was basically doing some things that I can't do. And that's the advantage of the stock market game simulation, that you can really get in there and just get some experience that will push you in whatever way you need to be or want to be pushed to that point. We learned that there were a couple of our teams that hardly traded enough to even qualify to be in the competition. And that's not what we want. We really want people to have fun. And I'm having fun that Ione beat me, even though I don't like it, but it's still a lot of fun. We do want this game to be heavily utilized and to go out on a limb and try some strategies that you think might educate you for the future. So all of the points are very well taken. And I was gonna mention that too, because Ione did beat me, and I forgot to mention that when I was speaking earlier.
Well, I only beat you, but if I'd have been in the game, the old man would have beat everybody. See, I did not know that. If the old man had been in the game, he would have beat everybody.
And that's spoken by Emmanuel Scarborough, our participant from Madison, Wisconsin, 100 Black Men of Madison. I just want to make a mental note to ask Economics Wisconsin to tell SIFMA that when our communities of color come into this game, they're gonna have to add another sidebar for some wolf talking, because we really like to have fun with our competition. So I can already see how we can do some more tweaking in the future. But we're hardly done. We have not heard from the master educator, the man who teaches teachers how to bring economics into the classroom, a person who's another good longtime friend that has been with us all the way as we've tried to bring more and more robust economic education to communities of color. Dr. Mark Shug, recent publisher of the book, Teachers Can Be Financially Fit. Let's hear from Dr. Shug.
Hi, Bob, and hi, everybody. Thank you so much for asking me to come on here. I want to just add my thanks to everybody else in terms of the donors and the advisors and the nonprofit organizations that are with Economics Wisconsin, of course. So you guys have really done a great job. The students, it's just, you can tell from listening to the comments of I Am Unique and Noah and William and the others that they've really, they've learned something in this game. And I think it's music to the ears of a lot of us to hear them talking about mutual funds and buy and hold and diversification and all this sort of thing. We did do a pre and post test to try, so qualitatively, based on these comments, you can tell that people feel like they learned something. Even the advisors in their comments have added that they felt they learned something. So we did a pre and post test to see more quantitatively if we could measure what the learning was. We just finished the game and we have not had much chance to do the pre and post test results yet. So I'm sorry about that. I was hoping we'd have a little bit more to talk about. But I did take a good look at the post-test results, and I have a feeling, actually you guys came in slightly high, like about 50% of the people understood what a stock was, but that means 50% didn't. And so on that one question alone, there was an enormous gain. And so I think pre to post, we're going to have a lot of good things to say. In the test, we had a test of knowledge, so we'll be able to report that. We had a test of attitudes, and I think you've heard a lot of attitude shifting going on here. And then we also did an evaluation of the game itself, how the students enjoyed the game, what we could do better and that sort of thing. So we'll be putting together a report on that. So if you're interested in knowing about that, Bob's the master at staying in touch with everyone, and we'll be happy to give you at least a summary of what we found there. If individual students are interested, you can contact me or contact Bob, and we could tell you, if we can figure out your identifier, we can tell you what you got on pre and what you did on post. So my thanks again. It's been a great summer to be involved with this, and this whole capstone event makes it all the more satisfying. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you very much. And we can advance to the next slide. And again, while we are going to that, let me just remind those advisors who have not gotten their students to take the post test to please go ahead and take that post test so that we can be sure to have the most robust results as we possibly can. But again, just a very deep and heartfelt thank you to Dr. Mark Shug for staying with us. There's just so much we could say about retiring and having lived a very successful professional life and the choices that you have, the opportunity cost it takes to be part of something like this when you could be doing other things, but he has stayed with us. We're going to talk next about where we go from here. You've already heard allusions to the fact that we want to do this again. We want individuals to continue to learn, and we can go to the next slide and showcase a few of the organizations that have financial literacy programs that are all part of the Collective Impact Initiative. Many of us on this call today go to church on every Sunday. We go to Bible study, and I want financial literacy to have that same degree of dedication and consistent, continuous learning. Don't for a minute think that just because you did the stock market game that you know it all, or that you don't even have to do that game again. We can guarantee you that there is enough to know that will empower you that you should never stop learning. So one of our collaborators is Secure Futures. They have several programs that are really geared toward some important basics relating to financial literacy. One of their most popular programs has been Money Matters. And they're now going much deeper with mentoring small groups of young people across Milwaukee. They reach a lot of youth throughout the city, and that program is called Money Coach. So we're going to get you more information about that as we go forward. Junior Achievement is another one of our collaborators, and I talked with the executive director there, and he mentioned one program in Milwaukee in particular that is a business plan competition. And he would like to see more young people of color participating in that. And we're going to use our collective force as a group to promote that and see if we can get more participation in that program as well. I am with Asset Builders. we have our own high school-based program called the Finance and Investment Challenge Bowl. And we want more youth in Milwaukee. And be forewarned, Florida, whatever we do in Milwaukee, you're liable to see it show up in Florida. And we are looking to bring that program into some other states. But suffice it to say, the Milwaukee competition is usually in the spring. We'll have to see what the pandemic holds, but we want to encourage young people to participate in that. And you'll hear more information about how you can participate and prepare. It's much like the stock market game. You have to work your preparation in order to be competitive and to win. We can move to the next slide, and we have information regarding the Economics Wisconsin and the stock market game. I don't know if Bob or Julie want to talk about the game and how it's offered during the fall.
Yeah, I'll just do it real quickly. And anybody could call me or Julie and we'll walk it through. But just like you signed up, you can sign up during the school year. This has gone traditionally through schools, but after school clubs, boys and girls clubs, all of that, they could join too and make this a regular activity. You can use Mark's curriculum again if you like, or certainly the stock market game provides, SIFMA provides weekly webinars, and we're glad to support you. The great thing about our game in the school year is that the top prize is $500 a student for a team of up to 5, so it's $2,500, but the competition is stiff as it goes with students from across the country, or across the state, I should say. But of course, with $500 on the line, people tend to pay attention. Our first day of trading is October 12th, so you have time to think about this and connect with us. And for those people who are on the line who've been advisors and are in the financial industry, SIFMA also has a program called Invest It Forward. And it is an opportunity for you to zoom into a classroom like this and talk to people about what it means to work in your field, how you got involved, as well as do some coaching for them on the stock market game. I know a lot of our coordinators were a little intimidated, it sounds like, in first starting with the stock market game and learning about stocks. Well, it's the same thing with teachers. So it's great to have outside specialists to come in and give those students some special advice, as well as be a role model for a potential career path for them. So if you're interested in that, you just Google Invest It Forward and you can sign up, and it connects you it connects you online with a teacher, pairs you up. So those are opportunities for everybody. As usual, you guys have our phone numbers, give us a call. And I'll just throw out, Tiangelo's asking us to stay on the Zoom for a second so he can do a picture of what his screen looks like. So back to you, Bob.
Okay, thank you. And while Tiangelo sets up to see if we can get a screenshot of as many people as possible, just this is where you would unmute your video so we can get as many of the photos as possible. I want to mention 2 things that are coming right up. In addition to getting you information on what you just heard as far as follow-up, we have opened up a private Facebook page. Mainly the adults are going to be on it, the advisors or some of the resource people. If young people are part of it, they can be part of it as well. The Facebook page official name is Youth Stock Market Game Summer 2020. Youth Stock Market Game Summer 2020. The photo is the raging bull that you see on Wall Street, and in the foreground you'll see the back of the little girl who is facing the raging bull. It's a very symbolic setup that they have there, and it talks about how more non-traditional people are facing the opportunities in the stock market game. We also are going to have office hours one more time. There are a couple of community-based organizations that did not participate, but are very interested. As Daryl Davidson said, this is probably growing to be a family and then a movement. And we are just going to haphazardly set up 3:30 next Tuesday for office hours. That's one reason we're doing it is I talked to a nonprofit that I've done a little financial investment education with before in Milwaukee, and they were not part of this. And we're going to have some conversation with their teams. So I said, if it's okay with them, I would just announce it, and others can participate as well. And it's going to be open-ended, no formal presentation. It's going to be more of a discussion about where to from here. With that, I'll turn it over to Tiangelo and get his direction on how he would like to get a photograph. I see right now the top of the screen, and we can
Hey,
look
Bob.
at that. Yes?
Bob, this is Shannon. Tiangelo, do you think it would be best, because I would love if we could get a picture of all of the winners first. So we could black out our screen to then get like all the youth that are on the screen first. Is it possible for us to do that?
And we could try it out. I've never done this before. I never tried to do it. I did some screen grabs of every page already.
Oh, okay.
We have who was on here already.
Okay.
Do what you're talking about. So basically, if you're an adult, turn your video off.
For just until we can get the youth, because I really would like to get a picture of them first.
And if you're a young person, turn your video on.
And Tiangelo, what
And
you
then
can actually, Tiangelo, what you can do is on one of the boxes of an adult that doesn't have their video on.
Oh, I could turn their video off.
Well, you can do that, but you can also click the 3 dots and it'll say hide non-video participants. That way, everybody that's not on video will actually leave the screen and it'll leave you with everybody else with their video on. That'll make it easier for you.
That's perfect.
Okay. So
Thank you,
young people, I'm gonna give you another 3 seconds to, I'm over here stopping people's videos. If you're a young person, turn your video on and I'll do a screen grab in 3, 2, 1. And I'm taking a picture, so smile right now. 3, 2, 1, smile. All right. I got it.
And if there are a few folks left on, I was going to have David Mansell from DFI just say hello to us if he wants to do that.
Tiangelo, did you get what you needed?
Yep, I got the picture already. Do we want to do advisors next? What do we want to do?
I would say yes. I think it'll be great for us to have that as well.
Okay, young people, turn your videos off. Advisors, turn your video on.
Are we talking about advisors from Milwaukee? Are we talking about advisors?
No, all the advisors.
All
the advisors. If you are an advisor, turn your video on.
South Florida, you know Milwaukee spreads that love. So y'all, you make sure y'all hostess down there.
All right, advisors, I'm gonna take the picture and
of course.
Advisor, start smiling. The picture is happening in 3, 2, 1. All right.
And let me see if David Mansell,
Got
do you
it.
want to come on, David Mansell?
Hey, Bob. Hello, everyone. I don't know. Am I working? My broadband's not so great this evening, but thank you for inviting me, Bob, for this Capstone event. What a terrific summer idea. Hopefully, I saw in the chat that maybe this is something that can continue in the future throughout the school year. That'd be a just phenomenal idea. So,
and David, introduce yourself right quick, because I didn't, please.
Oh, sorry. Dave Mansell. I'm the director of Wisconsin's Office of Financial Literacy, which is housed at the Department of Financial Institutions. And Bob and I go way back. Bob and I would work together at the department, and it's great to see all the new faces and then a lot of familiar faces as well on this call. And as we try to continue the movement, as Bob said, to increase investor education and personal finance education. There's a lot going on this year. We have new financial literacy standards for schools. We have grant dollars. Bob, I have some good news for you. We'll talk tomorrow in the initiative with the collective. Green lights on all the wonderful things, and thank you for what you do and all those volunteers that are on this call and financial supporters. Just makes a world of difference. Thank you.
Thank you very much. With that, I think we are at our conclusion. And again,
Bob, before you leave,
okay.
One of the things I would like to say, we didn't say very much about the Florida group. And I think the people on would like to know, one of the young men in our group has already opened up his own account. this is the effect that this has had.
Mhm.
This young man is on the 8th grade, and he's already opened up an account with Charles Schwab. This is really great. That's all I want to say.
That's
Is he
fantastic.
on? Is he on? Because
He was on. Sadiq, are you on now?
because I want to hear from the great Sadiq. I've been hearing great
Sadiq?
news about him all summer.
Are you still on? He doesn't talk very much. He was on earlier. He and Dumba was on earlier. So I don't
Okay,
know.
well, I'll connect with him later. But thank you for that, Emmanuel, because the 500 Black Men out of Madison was definitely one of our shining teams under the Florida, what do you call it, Bob?
Yeah, but one of the things I would just like to say, we made a mistake. The boys, we meet on Thursdays. We do it every Thursday. And they decided that they wanted to buy more stock. And we was going to buy it that Monday. We went and bought Tesla, Shopify, all of those. We were in tech stocks. At noon, California closed down and the stock market went boom. That killed our portfolio. But yet, I think we finished what? Fourth?
Emmanuel, since you have the floor, say 3 sentences about the Win Investment Club, not W-Y-N-N, W-I-N.
Bob is talking about a stock club that he started back in the 80s. We have known each other for a long, long time. The Win Investment Club, I have not looked today. Before the pandemic hit, we were almost at $800,000. The other day, we were at over $700,000. So we have been doing this for a long time. And our owner and her mother would like to have you guys say that we have been using Better Investment as our guide. We get 3 stocks that Better Investment sends us every month. We can decide to take that, or what we ask our members to do, go out and find other stocks. And I'm going to talk about a stock that Bob said he didn't know we found. Shopify has been unbelievable for us.
Yes, so that's where we're really headed, and you all will hear more about the progression from the stock market game to something that we call the asset management experience, giving high school students and teenagers opportunity to manage a small pot of real money. And we want to bring more of them into real live investment clubs. 2040 will not be like 2020. We're going to move this community forward because we've got some really great people and a strategy that's going to be inter-organizational, collaborative, and it's going to actually be interstate. I can't thank all of you enough for what you have done. The planning committee for the stock market game, including Economics Wisconsin, Asset Builders, United Way, City of Milwaukee, and all the rest of our collaborators, and Florida that added all kinds of verve and vigor and energy into what we're doing. And we're gonna have to fight hard to keep our, just some of our leadership in Wisconsin, because there's a heavy weighted element of leadership down in Florida that we don't want them to get too far ahead of us. So I look forward to the friendly competition, and it's been a real pleasure to hear from all of you today. Congratulations to those young people. We know your future is going to be different for what we're doing with you today. And again, thank you for the Department of Financial Institutions for your support and for being here throughout our entire program. It's always so hard to conclude because this is just what we love to do, is work together, collaborate, and move our youth and communities forward. And that's why we are going to have a follow-up office hours, 3:30 next Tuesday. That's 4:30 Eastern time. And I'll coordinate with Ione to see if there are people who want to join us for that. At some point, there may be some separation because the discussion is going to be really about what we do next in Milwaukee. But it's fine if we want to brainstorm with Florida as well. With that, I am done. Ione, any closing remarks?
Well, I just want to say that I think it's actually very beautiful, and I don't think anybody has said this yet, but all these people of color, I'm gonna call them Black and brown people from across the United States, specifically Wisconsin and Florida, are working together to change our future. I think that the students on the call know how much we love them by how much we're investing our time and resources into them. This is definitely a conversation that is going to continue, and we, of course, will not pull ahead of Milwaukee, but we also don't want to fall behind either just because we're not in the region. This is a collective conversation. I'm glad to be a part of it. I'll end by saying this. Just this morning, I was thinking about my mother, and I was thinking about how fortunate my father was to have married my mother, because my mother is the type of mother that started us very young, day by day, teaching us, whether it be driving in the car, having us read aloud, or doing a math workbook in the car, or having us join her with at the business events, or like how I got into better investing, bringing us with her as we learned. And I think that that's what we have to do for not just our own kids, but the students that we're working with as teachers, as advisors, as principals, and just in the larger community. We definitely need to be walking together. And I am actually just so grateful and fortunate that we are all walking together. I've put my information in the chat. If you want my phone number, we can definitely call, because you know, I'm in this for the long haul, and I want to share myself and what I know and my experience with everybody that wants it, because I definitely think we can get there, and we're already on that path to getting there.
I only can your godfather brag about you a little bit and
Yes,
tell your
Bob.
newest news?
Yes, please. Oh, yes, the announcement.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
really,
It's your honor, Bob. Go ahead. I'll let you take
it
that.
really is. And it should be Ann's, but if she's not on the call, and these are Milwaukee people, these are my people. Folks,
She's on, but she's going to let you take the shine.
okay, folks, Ione McNeil, the woman you're looking at now, has been appointed to the National Board of Directors for Better Investing International. So she has just gotten that appointment. She has risen up through the ranks very, very fast. And when she talks about being dedicated and in this for the long haul, she truly is positioned to be here for the long haul. Some people know that asset builders would not have existed if Better Investing had been doing this kind of outreach. But now with Ione at the helm, at least as a board member, and she does have some good friends on that board as well, we're looking forward to the collaboration just getting stronger across all of these organizations. So congratulations, shout out to Ione. And actually one of the programs we're gonna do virtually is a recognition and celebration of Ione McNeil and her appointment to Better Investing. So we're gonna book that for down the road.
Thank you, Bob. I'm blushing.
Thank you. All right, and I wanna
So,
thank-
Ione, you're taking his place, and you're gonna do a better job than he did when he was on the board, right?
Yes.
That's right.
Because I'm a woman and I'm young.
Yeah.
Oh, you hear that, Bob?
Yeah,
I'm ready.
I just enjoyed those perks. She's going to have a good time. Yeah, thank you all. And we have concluded, and we really appreciate this opportunity. It was a great summer because of what we were able to do together. Thank you all. Take care.
Thank
you. Hey, everybody.
All right.
Peace.
Thank you very much,
Yeah.
Angela.
Thanks.